You know, politicians will go as far as eating shit just to win an election. After they get in power, they'll throw the shit right back at you. Do they really care about us? Or only themselves? Listen. In the future there'll be a great deal of uncertainty. Students won't be able to afford university. The students of today are the future of tomorrow. Stand up and take action instead of sitting in sorrow. The Conservatives have a plan to increase the gap between the different classes. Listen, they're just preaching crap. They want to widen the gap between the rich and the poor. If students don't make a stand, then they will be ignored. Listen, me, make your voice heard loudly if you disagree with government plans to increase the tuition fees. Average household income is less than 30k, but the Conservatives destroying education in a dirty way. Parents dream of seeing their child at graduation, but with rising fees it's beyond their wildest imagination. The coalition government destroying many student aspirations like a virus infecting the masses without a vaccination. Situation escalates and I can see the fire burning. Students will suffer the brutal consequences gained from higher learning. Shouldn't be a measure of academic ability. An education should be an affordable facility. It's an atrocity. The Lib Dems went back on their policy. Nick Clegg is the ultimate definition of hypocrisy. He promised if he got in power that he would scrap the fees, but I could see it coming cause Nick Clegg was just chatting breeze. Money doesn't grow on massive trees, but Clegg is packing peas. He doesn't care if students are denied the chance to have a dream. Tragedy if you're from a working class family. Your uni dreams will burn in flames like a match to gasoline. Picture the scene graphically cause it'll worsen gradually. Cameron and Clegg living in a world that's imaginary. They're living in a fantasy, thinking these cuts tactically. They need to wake up to a little something called reality. We must stand up and make our voices heard, cause if we don't then they'll just make our choices worse. Stand up and speak up, don't be afraid, cause if you stay quiet then you know that nothing will change. Stand up, speak up, stand up, speak up. We must unite together and fight against these cuts. Stand up, speak up, stand up, speak up. We must unite together and fight against these cuts.
Tory Scum, here we come. Tory Scum, here we come.
A few days before the protest, I sent out a Facebook message to everyone that I know from my school to tell them to walk out at 10:30. Then they sent it to their friends and they sent it to their friends, and after a while it gets around the whole school. And then when it did get to 10:30, everybody walked out.
We shall not be moved! We shall not be moved! We shall not be moved!
Oh, there's people around there! People! Human beings! Stay back and keep moving!
Stand up, speak up, stand up, speak up. We must unite together and fight against these cuts. Stand up, speak up, stand up.
This is a very effective method of raising our concerns, putting pressure on the management in order that they put pressure on the government.
100%. public funding cuts to arts and humanities courses in England and Wales.
Asking people to take on such a financial risk in order to provide something that's a social and cultural good for the society that doesn't offer them a huge return is quite a big responsibility to ask someone to take on.
We don't want universities just to be there for people who want to come out and get a career.
When I went to the march on the 10th, completely opened up my view of the possibilities of what can be done by us in the political landscape. And from all the meetings, all the people I've spoken to since that day, a lot of people feel the same way.
The outbreak of many occupations over the country has had a huge effect actually directly on government. I mean, a Lib Dem MP resigned last night, which is another one of the huge things that happened.
LSE in 1968, they were like the forefront of like occupation and starting the political movement, and we felt like, hold on a minute, we should be part of this too.
Since we've occupied, they've announced the start of cuts at UEL, which means cuts to teaching places and a decrease in the quality of education provided here. So really the focus of the campaign has shifted very much onto fighting the cuts here, as well as, you know, the national picture about fighting the fee rises.
The cuts came to King's last year, where the management announced they were going to make 10% cuts, and we had a campaign which culminated in our lecturers taking strike action last year. We had hundreds of students out supporting them on their picket lines, and that was the basis from which we already had a campaign.
The tube strikes yesterday, a lot of us went down on the picket lines to show our solidarity. The concerns of the workers and the students aren't mutually exclusive, and to try and make a distinction between a student and a worker is false. A lot of us are both, and what we need to do is really stand united in this.
Education should be for everyone, not just posh people that probably can already afford it.
It increases the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
And cutting EMA, that actually makes students want to go to lessons. It's an incentive for people to like do things.
And it's like some people can't afford like buses and stuff, so if we cut EMA, we can't like...
People might not be able to get an education.
You can't even go to sixth form, let alone university.
They can do whatever they want, but they can't stop us from fighting. You know, it's a free world. Like, they can't stop us from fighting for what we want.
Today was actually quite brilliant. The thing went completely off script. The BBC presenting was like a well-organised thing. It wasn't. There was people taking the initiative on the ground. We tried to march up Trafalgar Square. As soon as we began proceeding down Whitehall, it was apparent there was already a line formed to kettle us. This spooky crowd who turned and ran around. This gave rise to basically a massive game of cat and mouse across London. Proceeding with them attempting to kettle us at Westminster Abbey. This thing going all the way through Green Park, up Regent Street, across Oxford Street, through High Holborn. We actually got as far as St Paul's heading towards the City of London. We had thousands of people at Farringdon, at Trafalgar Square, on the embankment, down to the Bank of England. People went literally everywhere and they had absolutely no idea what to do. Doing this, we caused massive disruption across London. And the best thing is that there wasn't any real significant violence that the press could focus on. So I think we should look at this as a really good opportunity to get our side into the paper.
Pay your tax! Pay your tax! Pay your tax! Pay your tax!
Philip Green is an advisor on government spending. Yet, while he's an advisor on government spending, he's avoiding taxes in excess of 1.2 billion for Topshop, millions of pounds himself, and yet he's advising us on how to spend that money that he's stealing from. So it's kind of a ridiculous situation when the common people are forced to have £7 billion of cuts, yet the rich and wealthy owe 120 billion in tax.
We are the tax enforcement society. We are the tax enforcement society. We are the tax enforcement society. We are the tax enforcement society.
When I say cut back, you say fight back. Cut back, fight back. Cut back, fight back. When I say cut back, you say fight back. Cut back, fight back. Cut back, fight back. I want to say thank you for everyone coming out today. You know why we're here. To say if the education cuts here, free education for all.
Our university is very different to a lot of the occupations that are going on. London Met offers opportunities for students who didn't necessarily do that well in exams, aren't necessarily that academic, who come from more disadvantaged backgrounds. We have a lot of ethnic minority students, which is great, and it's something that London Met has always said, and we all stand by, that we're proud of that fact.
We should care about each other. That's what's best about this group. We all care about each other. We stand up for each other. We all stand up. We are ready to stand up for everybody.
It's not a sit-in in a lecture.
It's really tenacious. They've gone in and they said, we're taking the centre of the operations, finance, cash. That's what hurts. That's what we're going to take.
We built a big barricade of tables and chairs and zip cabled them together. After that, we got the rest of the tables and chairs, and for every entrance and exit, we just piled them up and blockaded, basically.
That office there is the Assistant Director of Finance. That guy's an important guy. You know, he's had to relocate.
We'll probably lose about £25 million worth of funding in this university, which could translate itself into about 500 or 600 job losses.
The anger and the rage that is felt by the people here in this occupation and in others is too strong for it to just disappear.
What we're fighting is ideology. It's the ideology of class and of privilege.
When I say cut back, you say fuck that, cut back, cut back. Fuck them. Salute every one of you,
tomorrow, as they are showing, they will shut down our education system. We will show them tomorrow that we will shut down the streets of London.
If the tuition fee vote passes today, this is not the end. We will continue to mobilise, to occupy, to demonstrate. We will fight to bring the government to its knees to stop its programme. We will work with workers alongside when they take strike action, and we must fight for a general strike in this country to bring down this rotten, illegitimate government.